new campaign creation. When you're creating a campaign now, one of the things that you're going to be able to do is choose what type of campaign is this. Either it is a direct mail campaign or a phone campaign. So you're going to see that here. Now you might be wondering, well, what's the big difference here? This actually changes the process a little bit. When you're matching up your columns, there are
Mhm.
required fields right now. For example, we used to make sure that it's required that you had the owner's address, the owner's mailing address. If you selected phone, there is no need for that. And this is all coming back to this notion of that you guys are exploring and are doing outbound marketing, whether it's texting, cold calling, ringless voicemails, whatever it is. If it's one of those, that is a phone campaign. The only thing that is required is the APN, the owner's name, and the phone number. Now, if it's a
Yep.
direct mailing, whether you're mailing through Pebble or your own mail house, well, we're going to require that mailing address. Now, to categorize this, you can see here, Kevin's going to create a campaign. He's going to drag in a file. And there's also a new screen that I want to make sure we touch upon here too. We've been sort of working on some of the UI here for the campaign creation. So once that's uploaded, you're going to see a new sort of page for matching up your column headers. So it's interfaced a little bit differently here, but the required fields are going to be at the table at the top, the optional fields at
Mhm.
the bottom there. So those are the only ones that we require now. So it's awesome if you guys are doing your text campaigns and you wanted to bring in those, deals that never got back to you so you can mail, well, you can bring it in without having to have their mailing addresses. So there's a lot of sort of flexibility with that. With this now, Kevin, do you want to explain sort of the auto alignment of headers?
Yeah, so if you recall previously, if you were bringing in a spreadsheet from say Data Tree or Priced or any of those list providers, we used to have a little drop down here where you could select the drop down and then select your list provider, and that worked okay. But you had to sort of remember to go up here and select the list provider. So we've basically streamlined all of that. So instead of having to select your list provider by yourself, we just automatically recognize these fields. So we'll know if you import a list and it has, say, if you coming from data tree, we already know what those data tree column names. So we'll just automatically match up those column names for you, so you don't have to select that I'm bringing this in from data tree. Just helps take out one step in the process there. And of course, once you match up your spreadsheet names once, let's say you've got some different ones or you want to rematch things up from the default way Pebble does it, when you come in the next time, if you bring in that same the list with those same column names, Pebble will remember that for you, so you don't have to do it twice.
Finally, the auto detecting of your column headers will also happen.
Yep. And we also, just lastly, once you import your list, we actually are able to, we give you a bit of a nicer review page to show your errors. If we're now showing you specifically which columns had errors. So in this case, I'm saying, because this is a phone campaign, we're asking you to bring in phone number. And this is saying that 65 out of 100 rows didn't have a valid phone number. So I can click review errors, and you can see that here, that we've got a bunch of rows here that didn't include that phone number value. So we're just asking to redo that there. So a bit of a nicer interface here for reviewing your errors.